All right, so let's go ahead and get started tonight. First of all, I want to thank you for braving that horrible weather as you came in tonight. And if you got drenched, just so you know, our derby's out there. You guys can get a brand new dry shirt if you need it today. And so we're super excited for you to be able to see all of the exciting things that we've got going on across our district. But I want to start with a little story about how I got here. So 12 years ago, not far from here, I sat in a room interviewing for the opportunity to serve as the superintendent at Strongsville City Schools. And I remember the board asked me a real simple question. They said, hey, what is your vision for the future of Strongsville City Schools? And my answer then is the same belief that drives me today. I shared that Strongsville had everything that it needed to not just be a great district, but a premier district. One of the best in the region, one of the best in the state. But I also shared something else, that becoming premier wouldn't be about any one person, one program, or one initiative. It would truly be about a partnership, a commitment between our teachers, our staff, our families, our community to move forward together. And, you know, over the past 11 years that I've been blessed to be superintendent here, that's exactly what's happened. And because of this partnership that we've forged, our students experience premier opportunities in athletics, competing and succeeding at the highest levels. They engage in exceptional arts programs that showcase their talents and their creativity. And most importantly, they're achieving at high academic levels, leaving school prepared for college, career, and the military. So today, after 11 years of blood, sweat, and tears, and hard work and this partnership, I can say confidently that Strongsville City Schools is truly a premier school district. But if we're being honest, there's one area where the work isn't done yet, and that's our facilities. Many of our elementary schools were built in the 1960s by a generation of Strongsville residents who had the foresight to invest in the future. They didn't just build schools, they built a foundation for decades of success, and those buildings have served us well. But they were designed for a different time. Different enrollment patterns, different learning expectations, and different safety and accessibility standards. And today, we have students in our elementary schools learning in mobile unit classrooms that were meant to be temporary. But without action, they're going to be forced to be long-term solutions. We have learning spaces that limit the kind of collaboration and innovation and flexibility that our kids deserve. And we have a responsibility, not just to maintain what we have, but to prepare for what comes next. So just like the residents of the 1960s, we are presented with a defining moment in time, a moment to decide. Will we simply preserve what was built for us, or will we build something even stronger for those who come after us? The foundation for the future facilities plan is our answer to that question. It's a plan built the same way that the district has always moved forward, with thoughtful planning, community input, and a commitment to long-term responsibility and impact. It reflects not just buildings, but a belief that where students learn matters, that their environment should match the excellence of the experiences we provide each and every day, and that Strongsville still has its best days ahead. So tonight, I want to walk you through how we take the next step together and what it means for our students, our community, and generations of Mustangs to come. And so as we take a look at our facilities plan, we know, and I'm going to give you a high-level quick overview, that we are built on the strength of our neighborhood schools. That's what defines us, and that's what we want to keep moving forward as we look at our facilities that we need to move forward from those that were built in the 1960s. It's important to understand that all of our buildings, even though they're older, have been carefully maintained and upkept, but the upkeep to those buildings is becoming more and more expensive every year we wait. And the buildings, although great and they served us for decades in the past, were built for a different era, different enrollment trends, and different safety needs. And so as you can see behind me, why are we talking about this now? There's a variety of factors. Maintenance costs skyrocket, roofs need to be replaced, enrollment trends are changing. We are going to continue to see the number of elementary students that we have right now. We have 2,300 elementary students in our district. And over the next 10 years, those same level of elementary students are going to be here, and we need to provide a premier educational experience and the facilities to match for them moving forward. We can continue to repair the buildings as we have, but that doesn't eliminate our long-term obligations that we have and the millions of dollars it would cost us to do so. So what do we see today? As I shared in my opening comments, we have 14 mobile classrooms. We cannot fit in the elementary buildings we currently have. Every one of our buildings, except for Whitney Elementary School, has a mobile unit behind it to simply provide the space, whether it's for arts or whether it's for music or whether it's for support, or some of those units are used for our 4th and 5th grade classrooms. That's where they get educated each and every day, and we don't believe that's to the standard that we set here for our students or you set for us as a community. So we went through a 3-year planning process. We looked at facility assessments, cost analysis, where those locations would be. And we studied multiple configurations, everywhere from one mega elementary school that would have 2,300 students to replicating the 5 elementary schools we have today. And after we considered traffic and site safety and logistics, we landed on a plan that would bring 4 elementary buildings to Strongsville. That we would consolidate from years ago when I started from 8 elementaries to 7 to 5 down to 4. And as we took a look at what we could do, that was the greatest level of responsible consolidation that we could have as a school district that preserves our neighborhood schools. And so when we took a look at how we were going to preserve those, we used this formula that said, how much would it take to renovate our elementary buildings versus replace them? And we had experts outside of the district come in and assess all of our buildings, all of our elementary buildings, and they give us a percentage that says, hey, if it's over 67%, if the reno over replacement cost is over 67%, you're not using taxpayer dollars in the most financially prudent way possible to replace the building. As you can see, the majority of our buildings were built between the late 50s to mid 60s. Every one of those buildings, except the addition of Kinsner, or addition of Moraski, and the new our Kinsner building, need to be replaced. And so when we take a look at this, the Foundations for the Future Facilities Plan that is going to be on the May 5th ballot for your consideration proposes a new vision for the future of Strongsville City Schools that builds upon our community's legacy of greatness and puts our kids in our community in a position of success for generations to come. This would build 3 brand new elementary schools, have one in each quadrant. We would have a new elementary school behind our current Sarar Elementary School. That would be 700 students. We would have a new elementary school at the old Albion Middle School property, and we would vacate the Whitney property because that's one of the nicest properties we have in our district. We would build another new elementary school behind Chapman Elementary School, and we would renovate Kinsner to have 3 buildings of 700 students and 1 building of 500 students, and still preserve what is important to our community, which is those neighborhood schools. But we also have to take a look at our youngest learners. Starting at age 3, we have to provide preschool services by law to students identified with disabilities, and we do that currently at a preschool by the high school. It's Lund Road Preschool. We outgrew it about 5 years ago. And we also have 3 preschool classrooms at Chapman. This would unify our preschool services in the center of our community, and Moraski Elementary School would have construction and renovation. It would no longer act as a K-5 building, but it would serve us for generations to come as a centralized preschool. And so if we take a look at what you're considering on the May 5th ballot, it will be a bond issue for $147 million. Because of the good financial stewardship of the district, we have been able to reduce that from the total price of $159.1 million because we have $10.5 million that we are allocating towards that project to reduce the ask for the community. Now, we started building this project 3 years ago. Every year that we have waited, the price has gone up for the same project simply because construction costs are never going to slow down. So the time is now to consider the future of our buildings moving forward. And I understand $147 million, that's a sizable number. But if you take a look at how a bond works, a bond is about construction, renovation, site work, and infrastructure. None of this can be used for salaries or benefits or operating expenses. The average homeowner in Strongsville will pay about $1 a day. $1 a day to put the final piece of the puzzle together for our students and our future moving forward. And so as we take a look at the timeline, if this ballot issue passes on May 5th, in the summer of 2026, we will start designing those 3 elementary schools. And those 3 elementary schools will all be built at the same time. And our students will be able to enter those brand new K-5 buildings starting in the fall of 29. And then as we take a look in the fall of 29, where our students enter, they will enter a building that potentially looks like this. That has enhanced safety and security features that support not buildings that were built for safety in 66, but safety that was built in 26 through secure entryways. When they enter our cafeteria and our dining hall, our dining room, they will see natural light, open spaces, stages for performances that are above and beyond what we currently have in our multi-purpose rooms. Media centers are interactive, colorful space for students to collaborate and engage with one another, and hallways that contain collaborative learning space with traditional classrooms, 5 per each grade level for students to learn and experience. Now, the facilities, as we said, we want to make sure our facilities match the outstanding learning experiences that our students are getting, not just in one part of our city, but in every corner of our city. And I'd like to introduce you to one of our teachers that's doing that work.
Deeper learning in a second grade classroom looks like the kids taking the knowledge that they've learned and putting it in a way that they can express themselves creatively, whether that's through writing, through drawing. CKLA, the new program K-5, stands for Core Knowledge Language Arts, and it's a way of incorporating all of these strands in our reading rope with content-rich topics. And it has really brought a much deeper understanding of the content than we've ever done before, especially in the lower grades. So we've been able to incorporate topics. Right now we're talking about the Civil War, and they were learning about Harriet Tubman, they were learning about Robert E. Lee, Clara Barton, and learning about these historical figures in a meaningful way and at a depth that we've never done in the lower grades before. Overall, I would say CKLA has given the students this deeper understanding where they're able to make connections. And we were talking about the Civil War, but they were pulling on things we learned when we talked about the War of 1812. All of these content areas come up throughout their K-5 experience. So it will be really cool to see when they get to 5th grade, their understanding of some of these topics that started in kindergarten.
Welcome to today's podcast episode, where we will talk about Harriet Tubman and the importances of the Underground Railroad.
We're learning about things in the past that might be important to help us in the future.
That we get to have a friend with us and we get to talk to them about it and learn with them.
Welcome to today's podcast.
So what we're doing is we're writing stuff about her, like how she was important, have a microphone, and we're gonna have our computer. So we're gonna read the stuff right here. Welcome to today's podcast.
Why was the Underground Railroad important?
So this is just one example of the outstanding things that are happening in our schools and our classroom every day. We have truly built a premier district in partnership with all of you in this room. We are hopeful that we can build the facilities to match the work that's happening to build on our legacy of success for our students. So I know Mrs. Pelko thought I couldn't do this in 15 minutes, but I think I did pretty good. Thank you. But we have a lot of information. As you came in, there was a center table there with a bifold brochure for you. That has pretty much everything that I went through in the presentation, as well as a QR code to our website that has all of the detailed information that you can have. We are sitting in a middle school. The board has also allocated outside of our bond issue financial support for the arts and athletics at the middle school and high school level to ensure that we're investing across our entire district. So we are here to help inform, support any information needs that you have. Please get engaged. Please talk to any adult in a green shirt will be able to tell you what's going on. But we are here to celebrate our kids and our teachers and our staff in the miraculous work that they're doing each and every day. our Model Mustang Experience is a showcase and a celebration about how we're building innovative, resilient, collaborative, global, and empowered learners each and every day. So we want you to wander around, go see your kids, go see other kids, interact, engage, and see what a Strongsville City Schools education means to our kids today and into their future. Thanks so much. Enjoy the evening.